The Princess of Starfall Forest. Once upon a time, nestled beyond the reaches of any map, there was a mystical forest called Starfall Forest, where every leaf shimmered with the colors of a painter's dream. Fiery reds, glistening blues, and greens that glowed even in the shade. Sunlight poured through the canopy like golden rain, and the trees whispered ancient songs that only the heart could understand. This enchanted forest was home to creatures born from dreams. Foxes with fur like molten gold, hummingbirds that sang lullabies as they danced in the air, and unicorns so translucent they looked like moving moonbeams. Magic was in the soil, in the wind, in every breath taken beneath the glowing canopy. At the heart of this world stood a castle of crystal and ivy, nestled on a hill where morning mist curled around its base like a protective spell. Its towers reached high into the sky like the arms of the forest itself, and its walls reflected the colors of the forest around it. Soft rose in the morning, rich amber at noon, and deep violet under the stars. In this castle lived Princess Elira, a girl whose heart was as bright as the forest itself. Her hair shimmered like starlight caught in a waterfall, and her eyes were the color of the sky after summer rain, clear and full of wonder. Elira had a gift passed down from the old magic. She could speak to the forest. She could hear the wishes of trees, understand the songs of birds, and feel the pulse of life in every petal and stone. The creatures of Starfall Forest called her Brightheart, for wherever she walked, the land responded. Flowers bloomed in her footsteps, butterflies gathered in silent flight, and tired animals felt peace in her presence. But all was not well. A hush had settled over parts of the forest, and even the boldest creatures began to whisper of a fog, a sorrowful mist that dulled the colors of the trees and stilled the voices of the wind. In the deepest corners of Starfall Forest, the air grew heavy. Flowers closed their petals and birds stopped singing. It was said a curse had returned, an old grief that had never been laid to rest. Somewhere in the center of the forest, past places even the unicorns feared to tread, there was a lonely spirit, a boy made of mist and memory, forgotten by time, whose sadness was seeping into the land. Princess Elira could not bear to see her beloved forest suffer. So she donned her cloak made of phoenix feathers, each one bright and warm as sunrise, and set out on a journey to find the spirit and bring light back to Starfall. She did not go alone. By her side padded a mischievous cat named Pip, whose rainbow wings sparkled with dust and laughter. Flying overhead was Thistle, an old owl whose eyes held centuries of knowledge and who spoke only when his words truly mattered. Together they ventured through places few had dared go. They walked through groves where mushrooms glowed blue in the darkness, crossed lakes of starlight that reflected more than just your face, and climbed cliffs where the wind told stories from long ago. Finally, deep in the forest's forgotten heart, they found him, a boy, no older than Elira, sitting by a pool of still water. His body shimmered with mist, his eyes dim as the fog around him. He did not speak when they arrived, only looked at her with a sorrow so deep it made the flowers near him wilt. Elira knelt beside him and, in a voice both gentle and sure, began to sing. It was an old song, passed to her by her grandmother, who had learned it from the wind. As her voice filled the clearing, something began to shift. The fog quivered. A single flower, tiny and purple, unfolded its petals. The boy listened. Slowly he began to cry, not tears but drops of light that fell to the earth like morning dew. As they touched the ground, color bloomed. Grass turned green again. The pool sparkled. Birds began to hum. The boy whispered his name, Kalen. Long ago he had been the forest's first guardian, loved and remembered. But as time passed and stories faded, he had been forgotten. His loneliness had become the curse. Now, with Elira's song and her light, he remembered who he was. The forest remembered him too. The curse shattered like glass. Starfall Forest awoke all at once. Trees lifted their branches higher. Flowers opened wider. The sky above the castle glowed with colors even the stars had never seen. Elira returned to her castle, not just as a princess, but as the new guardian of Starfall, chosen by the forest itself. She and Kalen watched over it together, one of light, one of memory, both protectors of beauty and balance. And so, under skies filled with shimmering auroras and the laughter of unicorns, The kingdom lived ever after, in light, in wonder, and in harmony.